Hello, John Augustine back again. Damascus. Hands up anyone that knows where Damascus is. It's not in this country in any event. It's in Syria. And of course there's trouble there. Russia and Iran have stuck their snout into it, and any time all these countries put their snout into other countries, trouble goes on. There's a war going on there for the last 11 years or something with this fella Assad that's in power, and his father before him, and there was ordinary people were uprising against him, but then it morphed into this. So anytime countries put their nose into other countries, like in you, trouble. And Russia and Iran should keep out of those countries and look after their own countries and their people and do good for them. Just keep out of other countries whatsoever. They don't want them and they don't need them. And you can see Damascus, the trouble. But then there was trouble years ago as well. St. Paul, Saul as he was known, he was a Pharisee and a very ardent Pharisee, well educated. And he was implicit in the stoning of St. Stephen on Stephen's day. That's why his name's St. Stephen. And St. Stephen forgave them. Don't hold it against him, he said, because he followed Jesus and he knew what was right. So he got a special permission to go to Damascus to arrest Christians that was over there and bring them back to persecute them. He thought he was doing right. But was he? He wasn't as hat. So on the road to Damascus, he fell off his horse. And a voice came from heaven. Jesus, why are you persecuting me? Who are you? Says Saul, because he wasn't a Christian. And one would think that he would have heard of Jesus. He must have. But he wasn't one of the followers. And so Jesus said, why are you persecuting me? Because this is the Christian Catholic faith that was being established by the apostles. And Jesus said to him, he fell off, he went blind. His eyes was open, he couldn't see. Jesus said to him, go into Damascus and stay in a certain house. And his companions had heard the voice, but they didn't know anything. So he was brought in blind, and put into a house where he didn't eat or drink for 3 days. And one of the Christians, was Iranius or something, in Damascus, Jesus spoke to him and told him to go to this house where Saul was and open his eyes. He had a special job, and Iranius said to Jesus, he's come here to persecute the Christians. And so he did what Jesus said. And he went to the house and he opened with the prayers. He opened, because Jesus gave him the power. He opened Saul's eyes. And Saul immediately started to be baptized. He had seen the light. He was a changed man. And he was baptized. And he went into the synagogue in Damascus where they knew about him and what he was. And suddenly he started preaching about the Christian faith. They were shocked and resolved to kill him. First chance they could get. But he was rescued by the Christians, the ones he come to persecute. And he was lowered in a basket at the wall of Damascus, down. So he escaped. And he had many, he escaped. But I think he went back to Jerusalem. And he was, I say, highly educated. And Peter and John and the apostles were going quietly about and converting people. And when Paul come, he was far more educated and than the apostle. But John, the apostle, was a mystic and was just as educated or just as knowledgeable. John the apostle. But as we're going about and Paul was with him, he was causing trouble because he was a strong character. So they put him on a boat to Tarsus, where he was from. And before that, by the way, he spent 3 years in the desert to prepare. But he was put on a boat back to Tarsus, where he come from. And he spent 7 years there being changed. And he was a changed man after the 7 years. It was like going on, really, priests going on for 7 years to be a priest. They're changed from what they were into this great honor of being a priest. So that's what Paul. So he established the Catholic and Christian faith throughout the known world, was shipwrecked and persecuted and left for dead. And the Christians found him and brought him back. Of course, he suffered then, of course, but I mean, that's another story. We're talking about Damascus. So there you are. When you hear about Damascus, those of you that might know that little story that I'm about to tell, think of Damascus, the trouble that was then them times. Yeah. You see, those that don't want to hear the truth want to persecute you, silence you, like the crowd we have here running the country in an awful way. Inflicting all sorts of evil on the Catholic faith. It's just why it's so important for the Christian TV Ireland to succeed with donations. We're doing the best we can. We're spreading the word wherever we can, wherever we go. Yeah, we stand up for the faith and for those that have been persecuted in this country, poor, that's made homeless by the high rents. We'll be dealing with that. And those that are lost in the streets, we don't know what happened to them, but we want to hear from them. We will hear from them. God bless now, and bye. Have a good day for the rest of the day. And contemplate this business about Damascus and what happened to St. Paul. And it'll happen to you, those ones that are gone astray. They'd want to have some experience like that. And change and repent while they still have time. Otherwise, you know where they're going. Eternal perdition. You can't do things what they're doing. No sorry. Bye now. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of Sunday. Bye.